Right, welcome back. Episode 2 of What the Devil, collaboration for United District and United View. This week we're joined by Nick from United District side and a man who needs no introduction, but I will for the audio viewers, listeners. It's Flex.
I'm a guest, mate. I'm a guest on United View. I never thought I would be a guest on here. This is sick. This is sick. And big up to you guys as well, man. This has been a long time coming, long time in the pipeline. A lot of people have been excited about it when we teased it as well. The online reaction's been good. And I'm buzzing. I'm
ready to go. First thing we need to talk about, Anthony Martial, out for 10 weeks with injury after his agent initially said that it would be a simple surgery on his abdomen. Came out of nowhere, 10 weeks. Has he played his last game for Man United, do you think? At this point?
I think so. I think so because when you think of the 10 weeks and where it brings us out to, I mean, we were saying before we started recording about April-ish, right? Mid-April. And we know with Martial, and I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. We can only go off the recent track record. Yeah. How quickly is he going to get back up to speed as well?
Yeah.
With only a few weeks left of the season. And then is he going to get up to speed enough to start games over Højlund at that stage? No, he's not. So all we can hope for, and I say we, some people may not even care. So you guys watching at home might not even really care about this, but really, all we can hope for is that he gets back fit enough and then can come off the bench maybe for his last game and get a little applause at Old Trafford or something, because he's not going to come back and have any substantial impact. No. He's not.
No. You know what it is? It might sound harsh, but is this not the most fitting way for him to go out? I know that is harsh. I know it is, but look at his career, the way it's gone, and look, he's spending the last few months at the club with his people, the guys that have been there the whole time for him, the medical team. They might have been there for him. Or the Jose came and went. Van Gaal, who signed him, came and went. The medical team were always there for him.
It's very damning. You know what?
It's damning.
It's out because with Martial, you go back to the beginning and think like the excitement that we got when we signed this guy. Yeah, like as the song goes, 50 million down the drain. Yeah, you could argue that actually it was in the end, but it's taken a long time for that to be there. What's it been in, like 8-9 years now?
Yeah,
it's insane.
9th season.
15?
It's nearly a decade, bro, of Martial. Do you know how insane that is? He has clauses talking about if he gets Ballon d'Or and stuff. That shows how badly he's fallen. And actually, I felt for Martial over the last sort of 18 months to 2 years. And here's the reason why. Clearly, his body's breaking down. And he should be in his prime. Yeah? Martial should be in his best form, his best physical condition, banging in goals for Man United or someone. And the fact of the matter is his stock has fallen. He's become not a meme, but just like a laughable kind of discussion. And just Man United fans have sort of said, well, it's over. And that is sad because actually, when you look at even last season when we were going through the transition with Erik ten Hag, when he played, we were better.
He scored 9 or 10 goals, I think, in the season, despite the fact that he... Actually, just quick stat for you.
Go on then.
So I was doing some research on Martial's, how many minutes he's played. In the last 17 and a half months, so since the beginning of last season, he's played 2,070 minutes, and that equates to 23 full 90-minute games. In that time, United have played 92 games. So he's played 23 games worth of minutes across the 92 games. But on the flip side, he scored more goals for the club than Eric Cantona. So where does he stand?
Yeah, because he was here only 10 years.
Longevity.
We can't, just to let you know, we can never, ever, ever say the King's name alongside Martial.
No, they're two different. The King.
We cannot.
No.
We can't frame it in any other way.
But I was more putting it in perspective. He has had significant contribution to the club in the club's worst decade in the last 50 years.
And I do feel as well, in fairness to Martial, and this is looking at the entirety, because obviously the last 2 years has been a disaster for him, right, injury-wise. But in terms of him being the scapegoat a lot of times, or everything's wrong because of him, or he's lazy, or I do think he was misunderstood. I do think people took just how he is as a character and a personality. I think people took that personally. I think some people sort of labelled a lot at his doorstep when you look at Marcus Rashford and what his numbers are in a similar sort of time. It's about par. There's not much in it. Other players who have come through the club who have failed and not lived up to their expectations. It isn't just Anthony Martial. So I do feel like sometimes he was a bit unfairly treated at periods of his Man United career. But over the last 18 months to 2 years. It's the same. It's been the same old story.
You know what it is as well. We kind of like touched on it with the injuries, right? Like, and it comes back to people thinking that he's lazy or saying that he's not bothered. You can see it, bro. There are times where he wants to sprint for the ball. He wants to try and do something, but he is scared. Like even Michael Owen said that when he done his hamstring the first time, after that he was not the same player because mentally he weren't sprinting for that ball. He weren't leaping to get to this ball. You can see it in Martial. Like he's always scared because he always knows there is likely going to be an injury around the corner again, because that has been exactly what has happened for him time and time again at Man United. So I don't know.
I think overall though, it is sad.
Yeah,
it is sad because I know, like, especially we all see on social media what it's like, right? Is if he was to look at the comments and what people think about him based off social media, it ain't going to be great. Get out of the club. Why? I can't believe he's still here. You know, all the negative sides. And essentially, this is a player that we had such high hopes for. And actually, the best version of Martial, which we didn't see for long, consistent periods, I understand. But the best version of him was a really good player. Yeah, he could take people striker. On, good goal scorer, clinical finisher. You know what I mean? He's got the edge, he's intelligent. He can take players like the prime Martial coming in from the left as well. He was a scary sight.
Technically, he was outstanding,
100%.
bro. Outstanding. Like, close touch, ball to feet. He was brilliant, bro. And even there was time where he did kind of become that 9 to pick up the ball and release the wingers. He done that well for
the ball sticks. He offers a fit Martial offers something different to Højlund. We were looking at it like when I went to pre-season tour on Eric's first pre-season. In China, and because he was played the whole pre-season.
Yeah,
and it was Martial, Sancho, Rashford.
Yeah, that was the pre-season.
Yeah.
As well.
Pre-season before, and we went. I'll tell you what,
Martial.
Eric's got to unlock this is it. This is it.
And you could see it.
And then we got to, and then we done the whole pre-season, and then just before, Eric's like, Martial's injured, and that was it. Since that day, he's just had all these injuries. So it is sad, and I did see something in them pre-season games. I was like, right, this is it. I think Eric's finally cracked it. It looks, and how wrong was I and we? But it's a sad story, man. It's a sad story.
I think a key turning point over kind of Martial's career is, everyone says it's the Sanchez signing, because remember that it was Sanchez was under Mourinho, and then Martial, misfiring a bit under Mourinho. He started to gather momentum. He was playing really well on the left wing. Lukaku up top. Who was on the right hand side?
No, because Sanchez came. Jesse Lingard.
Lingard played there for a bit.
And then Sanchez comes in what is a whole other discussion, but I think one of the worst transfers the Premier League has ever seen.
Awful.
Just the whole thing was a mess. But basically, I think a key part of that is that Martial then was just kind of shunned away. And I remember there was this game where it was, I believe it was Old Trafford against Reading, where Martial started up front after he wasn't playing on the left wing because Sanchez was playing there. Martial then had a pretty poor first 45 minutes up top. Mourinho then moved him to the left wing and he got 2 assists and we won 4-0. Everyone was like, after 45 minutes of Martial being back on the left wing, it's quite clear how sick he is there. At that time, he must have been, 24, 23. Yeah. And they just continued to not play there, force Sanchez into the 11. No doubt I'm assuming there was some sort of pressure from the top. Number 7, got to play every week. And from then on, I think it revived a bit then under Solskjaer, lockdown football, when there was no fans. It was him, Rashford, Greenwood, unreal front three. He was then up front and he was playing well as a striker because he also had, I think, Bruno Fernandes to help him, and then kind of tanked off again. But I think that moment, signing Sanchez was a massive key turning point.
I think it's a mixture of both. Like, you're right. There's been a lot of mismanagement at our club in general with loads of our top talents. So that you can't just label that at one player. There's been far too many players who have walked through this door, and as Gary Neville says famously, the graveyard that is Man United. So it can't just be one guy. Can't just be him. Can't just be Rashford. It can't just be Bruno. It can't just be Lukaku. It can't just be Pogba. It can't just be Jesse Lee. It can't. There's been so many people.
The club's failed so many
players. The club's failed
so
so many players. But on the other side of that, you have to be, accountable for your own performances and what you bring and overcoming adversity, And I remember a time when I think he got badly treated when his number got taken by Zlatan as well.
Yeah, number
9. He'd come in.
Turned to 11,
Yeah, and then it just didn't work out. And then, people were saying he got badly treated then. But Zlatan came in and scored goals at that time.
28 goals in a season.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, his first season was unbelievable.
You can't argue with it.
You can't. So, I don't know. I just think deep down, if I'm being honest, I think Martial ended up being overrated for what we maybe thought he should
What it
or
could
would
have
have, what he could have been.
Or showed glimpses of.
Yeah, he showed some glimpses, and off the
Glimpses,
glimpses, we took him that he is that. But really, over his whole time here, it's just been up and down. It's been inconsistent, whether he's been fit or not fit. So, yeah, not good, man. Not good. Sad end.
That's been the story of us players, isn't it, in the last 10 years?
Exactly.
It's
It
not
really has.
quite what it could have been.
Yeah. The one season I thought he could kick on was the season after the COVID year.
Yeah.
Because we got into Champions League, he was looking really good with Rashford up top. We were in it was the PSG group.
Yes.
And that season I thought he could really kick on because Ole's, you could say, somewhat unlocked him if you like. But he went on to score, I think, what was it, like single digit numbers. And that was a season where I thought it could, something like that. And that's the season where it should have kicked on because you had an established front three. We were scoring a lot of goals then as well, but he just wasn't part of it. So
You just kept missing that last step.
Yeah. So back to your original thing. I do think it's his last game because I hope I'm wrong for his sake and for, listen, I want our players to be fit.
Yeah.
I hope Martial comes back from this and the last however many games of the season, we're in for the hunt for top 4 and he comes back, starts bagging goals and we get top 4. That's what I want to happen, but if I'm being honest.
Højlund needs as well.
Exactly.
Højlund needs someone to help.
All that's happened from this, is because we're not, I think it's very unlikely we're going to get a striker in this. We're not going to get no one, right? FFP and PSR, we just got no money. We can't do it, right? All that's happened is the load on Højlund's shoulders has just intensified even more.
Yeah.
If it wasn't already there. You didn't have no support from Martial really anyway because he's been pretty much injured. Højlund came injured, had to get fit himself. And when Rashford has to play through the middle, we see what that looks like. There's only certain games that he can play up front. Exactly. As soon as we saw it against Wigan. Who was it?
Well, the first game.
This season when he played, had to play up front. Was it against...
it was just after the international break in October because Højlund was injured for like a month, but I cannot remember.
It was
who
a terrible... But
also
Forest.
Oh, the Forest game.
When he had to play up front against Forest. Low block. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember? Terrible.
Recently,
Recent. That's what I mean. Recent is what I mean. Awful. Right. So, if Højlund gets another injury or poor kid has to play every single minute of every single game from now to the end of the season, even though it's one game a week, come on, that can't happen.
Might end up seeing Scott McTominay playing at this rate.
A lot of people were calling for that against Forest.
Yeah. So, guess the player.
Yes.
I'm going to read out 3 clues, so to speak, about any player, kind of be past, present, current Manchester United player, former, or still a player, not playing for the club. And after each clue, you're going to have to guess who the player is. You got like maybe 20 seconds to write a name, ask who your guess is, and then if it's wrong, I'll let you know. If it's right, you get the point.
Let's do it.
So,
Let's go.
First one. I have never transferred clubs.
Cool. Call them out.
Flex, who you got?
Scholes.
Who you got?
Giggs.
Cannot believe it. It is Paul Scholes.
Come on!
I can't believe that.
Hey!
Because
I could have had that as well. I could have had that as well.
It's a few that we could have.
That's what I'm saying.
You know it's going to be class of 92.
The other two clues I had was my manager career failed. Oldham Athletic.
Still could have been Gary.
Yeah. And that he retired twice. Him being one. That one you would have got.
Come on, 1-0 Flex.
Right, next one. I started in the 2004 Champions League final. I like to see the confused faces.
Ooh, 2004.
Oh, 2004.
You got 10 seconds.
I don't even know if I...
Can't remember who won it.
5.
I think I do. I'm going to say it. I don't know.
3,
No.
2, 1.
I don't even know if this is the right spelling. It doesn't really matter. Is it Petit?
Nick, you've gone with Petit.
No, but it's got to be he plays for United, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Petit not? No? Am I bugging?
Not the player I've got here. You got a guess, Flex?
No, but I'm saying the player has to have played for United, isn't it?
Did Petit not for
at some point in their careers?
Did he not for a short period play for United? Am I bugging?
Emmanuel Petit?
Did he not?
Nah.
Are you sure?
Don't think
Never.
so.
I am
Never.
bugging.
Never.
Not that I'm aware
I'm
of.
bugging.
Nah, mate. He's Arsenal's.
Shall I just move on to the next? If you've
Yeah,
not got
go
one,
on, yeah.
move on to
Go
the
on,
next
yeah.
clue. Right. My middle name is Later, or Latyr.
Ooh.
Latyr.
Letier.
You've got me.
I
can't lie,
didn't know.
got
I didn't know this
clue.
until I went on Wikipedia.
Cause I'm thinking of,
It's a good middle name.
it's not Veron, is it?
No. Say it again. Letier.
I don't know. Yeah, Latyr. According to Wikipedia, that's his middle name.
Bro, that could be
Maybe
European.
anyone.
That could be South
And
American.
he played in the 2000. Because I don't even know the team. I can't even think.
You know what? As well,
Alright, what was
one
2004?
person in the
Was-
comments
was-
is going to know
Was
this.
2000? Oh, so 5 was Milan and Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool. I can't think of the year before. I can't. Don't know
was
who won it
4
for.
Juventus and no. Who was 4?
So move on to the last
Yeah,
I
clue.
got
go
nothing.
on.
We need the
Yeah,
le-
go
Last clue. I once fly kicked a football fan.
Oh,
Eric.
You put Eric Cantona. Have you put Eric Cantona?
he played in. Wait, what? Who else fly kicked someone?
Patrice
Patrice
Evra.
Evra. I was just going to say
Patrice Evra
that.
did. He played for Monaco in the
Bro.
2004
Actually,
final.
there's no way Eric Cantona played in the 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Bro,
his
you've thrown
middle
us
name-
with that. You've
Yeah,
thrown us with that last
Who
one.
was it?
Who did he kick?
Yeah.
For you,
When did he kick?
No,
someone?
he played for Monaco.
Monaco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't,
back in
hasn't
the
he?
day.
Hasn't he lost the most ever Champions League finals? He's lost 3. No, he's lost 4 Champions League finals.
Ouch.
That's a peak stat, isn't it?
Peak.
That's a peak stat.
Got the one that mattered, though.
Right, next one. I married an MUTV reporter in 2013.
You've got insider information.
Oh, I know who
don't.
that is.
Really?
He's got insider
Right, Nick,
information.
first we'll go to you.
I
What's
haven't
your
got
guess?
a
I
clue.
think
I
it
haven't got
is.
a clue. Gigs again. I don't know.
Johnny Evans.
It is Johnny Evans. Well done.
What?
Yeah. His missus works at MUTV.
Yeah.
No way.
That's not inside info. She's just always there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have been like 13 at the time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't have
But
a
I just
clue.
knew that his missus worked there. So.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's-
knew it from Wikipedia.
That's
again.
how we got the transfer
That's good
back.
ball knowledge.
2-zip.
Right. Fourth one. I've won 3 competitive trophies at Manchester United.
That could be a bagger, man.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Well,
Wait.
I think I got it. Well, I don't know.
If you do, you've somehow got access to my iPad if you know all these.
I promise I don't.
Should I go first?
Yeah, Nick, you're on.
Martial?
Martial, you've got...
Chicharito.
Nope. Next clue. My final United goal was a winner in the Champions League.
A winner in the
Just in a Champions League game.
Oh,
not
in a Champions
necessarily-
League game.
Just in a Champions League game. Not
But he
necessarily
won
a
3
final.
trophies. He's got 3 trophies. Did you say?
Three trophies, and his final game, his final goal for United was in a Champions League game.
This is an outlandish one. I don't know.
Larson. His last goal was Champions League.
I don't even know if the player I'm about to say won 3 or more. I don't know.
Who are you going with, Nick?
I haven't got a clue. Is it Van Persie?
Nope,
Berbatov.
not Berbatov. Final clue, you'll get it now.
Jesus.
I played football in China.
Oh, come on, man.
Played football in China.
I've got
One of
that.
our players, he played football in China.
Yeah,
I didn't even got that.
I've got that. Pretty sure I've got that.
Fellaini.
Ooh.
Final
Huh.
answers.
That's a good shot. Ooh, I've got to say
Go
it.
on, Nick.
Tevez?
Tevez, you're saying Fellaini. It was Marouane Fellaini.
Oh, and you know what? I came
Brian.
through late because I was like, I can't think of our players that have gone to China.
China, yeah.
And then Fellaini came into my head.
Yeah.
Late. Tevez has, though. He's played in China. Tevez.
Tevez has played in China,
He was
yeah.
one of those ones to secure the bag in China. One
Yeah.
of the only
Come
ones.
on. Marouane.
Last player.
I feel shagged. I feel shagged.
I'm on a roll.
I can represent either England or Ghana.
Who would be Ghanaian descent? I'm going to say,
That sounds like it's current
I got this, I think.
England
I got this.
or Ghana. I don't know. Pass.
Go on, Flex, what's your guess?
Danny Welbeck.
Nope. Second one, my brother was on Love Island.
And he plays for United. A United player whose brother was on Love Island.
Who was on Love Island? Are we allowed to know past or present? Or is that too much?
I'm not telling you.
It's not part of the game, mate. His brother was on Love Island, but he played for United.
And he can
And he could
represent
have
Ghana.
Any footballer's been on there? Josh Dendell.
You've got me puzzled.
I'm gonna take a random guess.
I can't even think of a player to
Can't
guess.
even think.
No.
Can't even think of a player.
No.
Right, last one. I made my United debut last year.
What?
Oh!
Kobbie Mainoo.
See, I feel like I'm cheating now if I say that. You just said,
Yeah,
oh,
but
no.
that's sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, flex, well done. Kobbie Mainoo.
Bro.
His half-brother Jordan was on a Love Island season like 3 seasons ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, the most random fact.
His
I need to
brother would have been famous before he
Jordan?
was.
Yeah, Jordan, his name's Jordan something.
Who was
It's
he
like a double
coupled
barrel
up
son.
with?
It's his,
What, with the
I
high
cannot,
top hair?
the
No,
life
I don't
of
know.
me. I
I
can't
need to see
remember.
that
But
back.
yeah,
But all right, cool. Big up Kobbie. You
Yeah.
don't go on there, Kobbie.
No,
you don't.
You're
Listen,
at
you
Old
stay
Trafford.
Because you know sometimes that story on Love Island. I am a baller, but like I want to take a
Yeah,
break.
yeah, yeah.
Nah.
have you guys seen Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Yes.
You know when
Shout out KG.
Jamie
KG, isn't it, mate?
leaves he leaves Man City to go on
Yeah.
that Love Island show.
Yeah,
See?
literally.
Good
Yeah,
storyline.
same
That
thing.
good storyline.
Literally.
It happens,
Right.
mate.
And speaking of Man United midfielders,
Yes.
Cool.
got a little bit of an exclusive on the podcast.
Let's put this down, bro. This is
Put
exclusive.
him down.
Wait, before you do that, have you just heard what he said? We're breaking exclusives. United District are coming into United View and breaking exclusive transfer news. So, listen, get involved, like up the video, get on the comments, and let us know what you're going to say to this because exclusives are about to happen.
So last week we had a
Yes.
big conversation about Man United's midfield. There's a lot of discussion surrounding, does it work? Can it work? Can Ten Hag actually make his tactics work around his midfield? And apparently, the scouts at Man United have identified Amadou Onana as the top option for the summer, unless he's been backed by Ten Hag. It's said that they feel the squad, so the scouts feel the squad is lacking a player like Onana, especially with his physical presence, his profile, and that he'll be a perfect fit. And beyond that, Fofana from Monaco and Thuram from Nice have also been scouted extensively, but not Thuram is not as liked as Fofana or Onana. Beyond this, João Neves is also really appreciated, but I think he's got like a £100 million release clause. I think we're not going to be doing those kind of deals anymore under INEOS. It doesn't feel like. As well as Ilic from Torino and Baina from Villarreal, but Baina's much more of a creative profile, and I think United aren't necessarily looking for that kind of player now, considering they've got Bruno and then Mount and everything. And so, yeah, Amadou Onana, Ten Hag United's top priority currently for the transfer window. That obviously could change under INEOS. They've just come in, but as far as the scouting department is concerned, it's him. What do you think?
Do I go first?
You go first.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
having
go
it.
first.
Listen, I think he's good for Everton. I think he's good for Sean Dyche. But if you ask me, is he technically good enough to be a Man United player? I don't think he is. Is he good enough with the ball at his feet? I don't think he is. Is he that dissimilar to Scott McTominay and what McTominay can offer us? I don't think he is. He has a bit more discipline than McTominay. He was staying in certain positions where McTominay would just drift off. Fair enough. But he's not going to be cheap. For the amount of money we're going to have to pay for him. And
Especially if Everton stay up.
The player you're getting is not... I don't know. I don't think technically he's good enough. Yes, he'll bring drive. He'll bring a physical presence. But like I said, I think we already have something similar in Scott McTominay. If you give him instructions and tell him to be a bit more disciplined, I don't think that's that far off from Onana.
Listen, I take what you're saying, bro. I think Onana's all right. I like him. He's all right, but nah, not for me. Not for me. I actually think that's a worry. If that's our top
he's
midfield
top, yeah.
target. If that's our top midfield target was at one stage Frankie de Jong. That's the profile that we want. Then we ended up with Casemiro. Then now we're going to end up with Onana.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, with the emergence of Kobbie Mainoo, that's absolutely brilliant.
That's what I was about
and
to
that's
say.
very, very key. And clearly United have altered what their plans are because of the emergence of him and how ready he was so quickly. And he's going to continue to do that. Brilliant. I can invest my stocks into Kobbie. We all can. Yeah, no problem.
We all should.
We all should, exactly. But Onana, if Onana comes to Man United, there better be some serious other technical ability coming in around him because he ain't going to solve our midfield problems.
No.
Yes, he's combative. I'll give you that. He has got legs, but that's where it comes into the McTominay situation. But actually for Scott, Eric's not even using his physicality as his main attribute. He's saying, listen, get out of the midfield, play
into
higher
the
up,
box.
go get us a goal. Do you know what I mean?
Crash into the box.
Scott's not really winning loads of duels. It's not, and obviously his height, he can win headers and stuff like that. But for how big McTominay is, he doesn't even dominate midfield like that. He doesn't even get about the park like that. And in terms of like his awareness of where to be, that's what lets him down. Onana might be a bit better in that department, but I'm not hearing Onana come Man United. I'm not really for that.
Would you not think though that because United could be losing, well, I'd say 3 midfielders this summer, Casemiro might go, Scott McTominay might go, and Sofiane Amrabat probably not going to have his loan renewed. So would you not think it's kind of essential to bring in someone, maybe not specifically Onana, but at least someone of that kind of stature? If we're going to lose Scott McTominay, who you've both likened him to, and we might lose Casemiro, we're probably going to lose Amrabat, who the only thing he seems to be good at is running around.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
would it not be wise for United to bring in someone such as him to at least cover for the fact that there could be 3 people of that ilk going?
Well, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. If he comes, there has to be a lot more around that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So his skill set, okay, cool. If Scott McTominay left and the players that you said are going to leave, I agree with that. But it's still not. I don't think that's the required level. I don't. And sometimes the question right back is like, well, who is then? I get that. Yeah. I'm not the scout. Yeah. It's not my. I don't have to. I don't have to know who that is. But what I'm saying is, I've seen Onana play enough times, and technically on the ball, he's not it. He's not it. So if we're going to get him to be a battering ram and give us that level of physicality, if that's what Erik Ten Hag wants, presuming it is Erik Ten Hag who's going to be here still at the end of the season, then obviously we'd have to roll with it. But if you're asking me what's my initial thoughts of seeing that Onana's at the top of our list, it's not just like there was an opportunity in the window because our main targets, we got X, Y, Z, and we added to it with a little bit of steel with Onana. What you're saying is what the exclusive is that he's at the top of our scouts list.
Yeah.
How? I'm worried.
The only thing I will say in a way of like it making sense is that from that, what I kind of get is that, all right, so you want Kobe to be the guy to pick up the ball from your defence and be the one to pass through the thirds. Then you want maybe Dalot to come in line with him and also help. Maybe Luke Shaw does the same. And so you've got that along with Martinez to help you get the ball up. So in Onana, do you just want someone who, like McTominay can, crash the box every now and then?
McTominay gets better goal return than him.
Yeah, of course. But then also what McTominay doesn't have is perhaps the more sort of defensive awareness, the discipline to be in the right positions. So I get that. But at the same time, I think, could you not find that in a different player who then is technically better? Because regardless, at times you're going to need your midfielders on the ball. Whether you have your fullbacks coming up or whatever's going on, your midfielders need to be good on the ball. Right now, our midfield, sometimes it feels like a hot potato midfield. It feels like no one wants to keep the ball. When Eriksen's not in midfield, it doesn't feel like there's anyone who can bring that calm composure. Kobe does, to be fair. But apart from that, there isn't really that composure in midfield. I don't know if he's the guy. I can, like I said, I can maybe get it if you want Luke Shaw and Dalot to be more the ones in line with Kobe to help get the ball through, but technically he's not good enough.
For me, we need to, obviously physicality is a massive part of a midfield and we do lack
especially in the Prem these days.
Especially in the Prem, 100% agree with that, because when you look at like our best midfield recently of like Eriksen, Bruno, and say it has been Scott at times, and even Casemiro to a certain extent, especially this season. I know he's had the long-term injury, so hopefully he comes back and resembles what we saw last season. But the big early signs of Casemiro this season, bro, he's running with a parachute on his back. And actually, let's not even kid ourselves to what Casemiro was last year. Unbelievable goal return. Didn't see that happening. But if he was to look at the downsides of what Casemiro showed in his game last year, was easily run past, dive in for a couple of tackles. Sometimes the game would pass him by.
He was rash, wasn't he? There
really
were many times where Casemiro linked in, I'm just thinking, what are you doing?
Because we can't dress up Casemiro to be something he's not. He's not someone who's going to dictate the pace of the game. He's not someone who's got an unbelievable range of passing. Give him time and space, he can hit a pass. Of course, he played for Real Madrid for ages.
Got a long range pass.
He can switch the play like any good, decent midfielder should be able to do if you give him space and time.
Yeah.
But we can't gas him up to be able to. He can't run the show. No. He can't orchestrate everything. So he can get run by. So we do need physicality of lungs and steel. When you look at how Newcastle play, right, when they've got all their midfield, look, Joe Linton's a beast. He's an animal. He's at it.
He's everywhere.
Sean Longstaff is physical. He's at it. Bruno Guimaraes is a little bastard. Doesn't stop running. Do you know what I mean? Kicking people.
You're right,
at it.
100%.
Tonali, even though he's been out for a while, and with the ban, you know what he is.
Yeah.
Lewis Miley has come into it as a 17-year-old kid. He's at it. He's physical. Arsenal got it. Declan Rice is a destroyer. Is a beast. Moises Caicedo can get about the pitch. You need it. You need it. Look at Szoboszlai, even Endo. So I mean, Gravenberch they can get about the
Back
pitch.
in the day, someone like Kante as well, who was just there were about 3 of him every time he played Chelsea.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm not downplaying the need for physicality in the midfield, but also what you get with them players, like what Nick's saying, is like, those you have to be technically good as well. And if he's our top priority, that shows to me that it suggests to me that they see him as like the absolute number one shoe-in that we should be getting to change our midfield. And I see it as the other way around. I see it as the orchestrator needs to come in, and then you back it up maybe to sprinkle an Onana in there where there could be a space in the squad.
I think by the summer it's going to change.
It also does depend on the deal. How much we want to pay for how much we want to pay for him. Because if you can get him on the cheap and he's a squad player, he's a rotational player, and you get rid of Scott and you bring in someone who, like I said, has a bit more discipline and can sort of stay in certain positions better than McTominay can. All right, fairs. I'm not, I don't hate it.
He's not dead.
No, he's not.
He's not like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
he's not at all.
Absolutely awful. It just don't fill me with like,
let's do it.
Fill me with that. And I'd be interested to hear what the listeners and the viewers think of that as well. Let us know, because I don't know, some of you guys may be sitting at home going, I'll tell you what, that's a bit of me. That's exactly what we've been missing. And maybe you do, and some of you may agree with us.
Tell you what I like is Paulinho from Fulham. I think he's a quality player.
You see what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
If you're talking
like
levels, that's what we should be looking at. That's what we
he
should be
almost
looking
went to
at.
Bayern in the summer. Didn't it? I think it fell through genuinely on deadline day.
Proper.
I think he was doing, or like he was at the Bayern facilities.
Yeah, he was.
He
was very nearly
flew to Germany,
fell
fell
through
through right at the end.
I think he's quality here.
Brilliant. And that's what I'm saying. If you're saying what's our top target, I want to hear them names. I don't want to hear Amadou Onana. I'll be honest. I like him. He can sing as well. Like, he's making tunes and that. Like, cool. I like him. His dress sense is good. Like, he's got the drip and that. But he's clumsy on the ball. He's clumsy, bro. Like, he's clumsy on the ball. But he's got good physicality. He's got good athleticism. He does get up and down. A lot of times I have seen him arrive late into the box as well and fluff his lines. Yeah. McTominay will probably give you more as a goal-scoring midfielder. But discipline-wise, I hear what you're saying, and physicality. He can be in the squad, but for me, not our top target.
Yeah, all right, this took everyone, the club, by surprise. The appointment of Omar Berrada from City Football Group, now CEO of Manchester United, due to start in the summer.
Mad. Mad.
Yeah, it was so secret. So this is according to a report from The Athletic this morning. It was so secret that so many of the club executives didn't know until The Athletic informed the club that they were about to release the piece, and they then had to have an emergency leadership meeting.
Do you know what, bro?
Genuinely, no one knew about it.
I'm going to be honest, it is a bit shameless, Even away from Omar Berrada, just as him as a man in his CV, I'm just gassed, because the bar's been on the floor so low, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gassed at like what you said, how they managed to do it and nobody knew.
Yeah.
That just got me excited, like which is pathetic, because it shows, like, do you know what I mean? The guy hasn't even come in and done anything yet. But the fact that Man United, right, with all the leaks that happen at this club, INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have come in where people inside Man United don't even know that you were going to go and get one of the main guys from City, bro. David Ornstein broke the news, right? But not as there might be this thing happening, or
It's happening.
There was nothing. No sources, no exclusives, no inkling. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, Gary Neville said a bit on Sky. He goes, I heard a little bit. Maybe he did. I don't know. He's obviously Gary Neville. But the fact that we've gone and got one of City's main guys out the blue, I think it's brilliant.
Statement of intent.
Statement of intent. Within the first month. Yeah. Bro, the Premier League haven't even fully ratified Jim Ratcliffe yet. And he's going to go get a guy out of City. So I don't think them things can be overlooked. And I think we should be, as United fans, because we've had so much misery, I say celebrate the small wins, bro. Celebrate the things that look like that's an encouraging sign. Because we're a bit scared to do that because we've been burnt so bad. And I get it. There's a lot of fans that are like, I ain't getting happy yet because, the Glazers are still here. It could all go wrong still. He hasn't done anything yet. I'm just going to wait. And I get that. we're emotionally scarred fans.
Yeah,
We are.
too many false dawns.
I'm saying too many false dawns, but because of them false dawns, especially doing this as well with content and feeling down in the dumps, I just like the fact that they've gone there, showed a real statement of intent, and
This is
executed
good.
that in silence, bro.
Yeah.
In silence.
It proves as well. It shows us as well the first signs of what Sir David and Sir Jim can do in terms of their pool. Like it was instant, and you're talking about taking someone from the best run club in the world at the moment, who
Alleged charges aside.
we're talking about someone who is at the best run club in the world, and it's taken them how long before, like you say, it's not even been ratified yet, and they've already come in and taken someone from Man City. I do also wonder what his motivations are, because, and I think this is a good thing, but I think he's looked at Man City and he's thought, right, there are already people higher than me established. I'm not going to be able to move up. Here's this role at Man United, this sleeping giant, if you like. I can go there and I can spearhead their comeback. I can help them get back to where they are. I can be one of the faces of this new project that they got going on. That's huge. That's huge.
It's a step up for him.
It's, yeah.
In
Yeah,
his
of course.
career,
Yeah,
aside from the fact that Man City are Man City, as much as I hate the fact that they are Man City, it's a step up in his career.
100%.
He's calling the shots now. He wasn't.
Main
He was
guy.
calling some shots at City Football Group, but he is calling the shots. That is the most important appointment that INEOS and Sir Jim Ratcliffe could have made. And honestly, I had no idea who that guy was before
Well, you don't always
Ornstein
know, do you?
announced it.
Yeah.
But now, because I want to believe it, he's the best CEO.
100%. Bro, here's what Pep Guardiola said in the presser today about him. He said, we wish him all the best and good luck. He was an important person for the organisation, was at the right hand of Ferran. The club will find the right person to move forward, obviously City, which they probably will. Wish him all the best. We try to keep the best people here, but it happens. Like on the piece I done with Steve McInerney as well. He's from a Steam company, City.
I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, and he was saying, look, he can't lie. Pep references Omar all the time as, you know, right next to Tiki, is how you say it, I think. He's up there. There's not many people above him at City. He is well in there. And, you know, when you listen to credible people in the journalistic space, people like Ornstein and people at The Athletic and really credible people within football, they talk about this guy very highly in terms of he was supposed to be probably the next in line at City, was his natural progression. But like you said, I like his hunger to say, listen, this is a tough job. He could come to United and fall by the wayside in the graveyard that is Man United. But what we've got the hope is that he's also looking at it from the other side of he can be the catalyst. He can be the guy that Man United fans look at and go, it all changed when Omar got here. And that, in terms of legacy, in terms of being that guy, clearly he was ready for that step, because he said he toyed with this. This wasn't an easy decision for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't like he fell out with City Group and it got sour. No, Man United came and they didn't want him to leave. He just he said, this is what I want to do. So,
Well, Man City, if they put him on 6 months of gardening leave, like that in itself will show that City they will not be happy with this, which is great.
yeah.
It's a similar the reason him coming to United in the state that we're in shows, I'd say, like a similar sort of mentality to Jim Ratcliffe's, like what he wants and what INEOS want to do. Jim Ratcliffe hasn't bought a fantastic club that he can kind of add to and run on. He's trying to rebuild the club, and anyone who joins the club, the message from now on is, I'm here to try and rebuild this. And obviously we've heard that last 10 years loads of time from the managers and stuff, but there's always been the kind of top level of people have stayed the same, and it seems to be the common denominator for the issues. Now that's changing. This guy's changing. Even the medical staff bringing in Gary O'Driscoll, beginning of the season from Arsenal. Yeah. He's doing a whole revamp of the medical department.
Which we need.
Which we need. Anthony Martial can seem to attest to that one.
Mate, all of our players this year.
Yeah, 18 injuries this year.
Ridiculous.
I think it's a start of hopefully a new mentality at the club.
I don't think, and this may be a bit strong, I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe could have made a stronger statement of intent within the first month.
Yeah, especially how quick it's been.
Do you know what I mean? So from I know people obviously have reservations about what must do and who they are and stuff like that. Leave the semantics out of it. In terms of him being front of house and being present and vocal and reachable, you know, to the fan groups, being at the games. We're seeing a lot of stuff from the journalists and sources saying that Dave Brailsford and himself and Jean-Claude Blanc are filling them all with optimism, talking about, we're good. Even, do you know what? Even the statements that have been going out, bro. Let's just be honest. The statements are really strong. The statements are basically throwing the Glazers under the bus.
100. But the one announcing Omar was
we
very
want
much.
we want to bring back success, back to success on the pitch and things like that.
And it was like, we want to make football the main focus again. I'm like, are you
Basically saying it
admitting
hasn't
that
been.
it hasn't been?
Do you know how strong
Yeah.
that is, bro?
Yeah.
So and don't get me wrong, I know, like you said, it could be lip service. It's easy to, but he's done all the correct ticks, to encourage the fans early on. And I was always very interested about this period, about when Sir Jim Ratcliffe finally got here, about how do we find out more about his manifesto, his criteria, what he wants, how is he with the fans, is he going to tell us more about X, Y, Z? And he is. And then to go and get the head honcho sorted already for summer, taking the piss. And because he could have just gave that job to Jean-Claude Blanc.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. But the fact that he's now there and Jean-Claude Blanc is working with him along with Sir Dave, that's. But also as well, one thing with him which I've heard as well is that he's got a certain personable touch that none of our previous CEOs have had, because he speaks 4 languages. So already in a global company, you're talking he can be.
He's got one up on Ed Woodward.
He's got one up on literally already. Literally. So that's huge in itself. The one funny thing which has obviously come out of this whole thing are the tweets. Which,
they're quite
bro,
it's
I
quite
like
funny.
it.
Yeah, it's got a bit of personality, a bit of character.
It shows got personality, but also it shows that when he was at City, he was absolutely committed to that cause.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's doing his job.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So now he's like us. Hopefully he tweets about them. Hopefully he tweets that they get 115 charges or so.
Bad signing for Man City.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't have done that if I was there.
Oh, and that as well. You know the story. Obviously they say he was involved in the Haaland situation, etc.
Yeah.
But there was also the story that, I don't know how true it is, but I just choose to believe it, that he said no to Harry Maguire because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Got Diaz instead, bro.
I hope that's true.
Bro,
I hope that's true.
listen, I refused to watch that City documentary before because I just didn't want to watch
You've
it.
not seen
The
it?
All or Nothing?
It
But
is-
then- All or Nothing?
I didn't want to watch it. I haven't watched it. But then when you see the clips now, from what this guy's saying in
They're
there,
good. Yeah.
bro, my guy.
He's just
I might need to
Didn't even know
revisit
he was
it.
last season. Yeah, I'm going to watch it now.
Yeah, I know.
in them. He's just the best way to describe it. He's just really sensible. it's the best way to describe how he is.
Just
he
good at his job.
Yeah. It's
Best
amazing.
in
We've got
class.
someone who's good at their job.
Without drama. Are you sure?
But this is what
At
it is.
United.
He doesn't
Boys,
fit in.
this is what it is about, like the standards of our club. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
We're rock
to have
bottom
somebody,
on the floor.
yeah.
We're rock bottom.
But I think we should be encouraged, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, in all seriousness, we can't get gas and say everything's fixed and this.
Oh
that.
yeah, no.
Because
But
it's not. But in terms of making a start to go, what we shouldn't be scared to do is embrace the change that we've been asking for so long. And when we see it, don't just be like, oh, whatever. Like, no, we wanted to see someone come in and go and get the best in class and go and get people for the right jobs in the right places. This is looking like he's starting to do that. We can't be mad at that.
No.
United fans, they should allow to be excited about this one.
Yeah. And the
I
rival
think,
fans
yeah.
will tell us that we shouldn't, look at you, you're pathetic. Good. And,
Yeah,
we
it's
have
about
done
fun.
it loads of times before.
Yeah.
When we say, we've now
Yeah.
got this player, we're going to win the league. We've now got this manager, we're going to win the league.
7th.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ralph Rangnick going to come in. Yeah, Gagan Press. Oh, then he's
that
going to be
was a
sporting
bad one.
director. You know what I mean? We've done it. So rival fans will laugh at us, but they're always going to do that. But I think we in-house, we should be encouraged by that.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. Sign of intent, like you said. So Jim's not messing around. He ain't messing around.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. But also long term. Nothing. We're not expecting an immediate future for
we
it to
need
all
give
piece
this
together.
time,
It's gonna-
time to work.
It's
You need
going
to
to
give
take
it all
time.
time to work.
Yeah, it's going to take time, but it's
But
good first signs.
and you know what? This could be the biggest January signing we've made in a very,
while.
very, very long time. Maybe even the biggest signing in a very
Oh
long
yeah,
time.
in the Athletic piece that I was reading this morning, it was very vague. It was like Premier League Insider says. It was like Premier League Insider says, or like it was like a top executive in a Premier League club, that this is the best signing United have made since Cristiano Ronaldo in 2003.
Oh yeah, I did read that bit.
Yeah.
And
Which
you
is
say,
a
and you think
crazy
it's crazy,
statement.
but it's like in terms of the trickle down effect that this could have, because we needed to sort the top out, because this is the top. This is the highest you can get at the club. Like you say, he's the most important guy at the club.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously the owners and the stay, you know what I mean? But so that ripple effect that could come from this, if he gets it right, along with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, now they need to go and get the right sporting director. Now they need to go and get the right head of recruitment. They all need to get the right of everything. But the start of that, of the ripple effect it could be, forget trying to bring in someone who can just like cheap promote and who can get us through to thing. I'd much rather this be our January signing.
And then see what happens in the summer. Right. Top Devil, Flex. I'm going to fire at you as many questions as I can in 2 minutes. You've got to get as many of them right as you can in 2 minutes.
Who've I got to beat? What's the
So,
score?
last week,
Marcel
got 7,
Yeah.
Rich got 3.
3?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then he got completely taken apart in the comments.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, right.
if you beat 3, then you're not bottom.
No, I need to beat 7. I need to be top.
Got to be Top
I
Devil.
need to be top devil.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
In what year was Old Trafford built?
Round 1.
Wrong. Who was the captain of Manchester United during the treble-winning season?
Rio Ferdinand.
No, Roy Keane. The West Stand of Old Trafford is more. So the West Stand of Old Trafford. The West Stand of Old Trafford is more famously known as what?
Stretford End.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which player holds the record for most appearances?
Ryan Giggs.
Who started up front in the 1999 Champions League final?
Andy Coleman-Dwight.
Which, correct. True or false? Manchester United once pulled out of the FA Cup in order to play in the Club World Cup.
Correct. True.
Which former number 7 also tried a career as a rapper?
Memphis Depay.
Good. How much did United buy Mkhitaryan for?
17 million?
35 million. Which 2 players were suspended for the 1999 final?
Roy Keane and Paul Scholes.
Correct.
Yeah.
2 stands at Old Trafford are named after which people?
Sir Alex Ferguson and Bobby Charlton.
Correct. Name 1 ground that United played at before moving to Old Trafford.
Main Road.
North Road or Bank Street? Did Eric Cantona, David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo wear the number 7 shirt in consecutive order?
No.
They did. Who was the only player to win the European Golden Boot while playing for United?
George Best.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Who was United's longest ever serving captain?
Brian Robson.
Good. What was his nickname?
Robbo.
Captain Marvel.
Captain
Which Dutch striker joined in 2012 and won?
Robin Van Persie.
Good. Old Trafford is situated on what road?
Chester Road.
St Matt Busby Way. Who were Manchester United playing when Eric Cantona kung fu kicked a fan?
Crystal Palace.
Good. What is United's
2
record
minutes,
win? Have we gone? All right. How many was that?
Well, what was it? Did the last one count?
We'll count the Crystal Palace one, yeah.
10.
10.
10.
Well
And
done.
you know what? As it is, when it's quick fire and you know there's a timer, you say mad answers.
Yeah.
Where if you just ask me with no timer, I'll go, oh, obviously it's that, obviously it's that.
Yeah.
Your mind
But-
goes blank sometimes.
Yeah, your mind goes back,
yeah.
and then you actually say dumb answers as well.
Now we're going to the second round. Nick, your turn. 2
go.
minutes, as many questions as you can. Are you ready?
Flex, I'm coming for you, man. Let's go.
Which twin brothers played for Man United?
Raphael and Fabio.
Good. Name 3 class of 92 players.
Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Paul Scholes.
Well done. Who is United's 3rd all-time top goal scorer?
Pass.
Dennis Law. Who wanted Manchester United players to be horny?
Lou Van Gaal.
Good. Is Mkhitaryan the first Armenian to play for United?
Yes.
Good. How many loans has Eric Ten Hag transferred in so far?
4.
5. What is the current capacity of Old Trafford?
75,000.
Good. Who was Sir Alex Ferguson's last signing for Man United?
David De Gea.
Wilfred Zaha. Which club has United played the most games in the league against?
Everton.
Arsenal. True or false? They have played over 200 times in the league.
Arsenal. True.
Correct. Who gave away the penalty that Marcus Rashford scored in Paris?
Kimpembe.
Good. Name 3 players who have won the Ballon d'Or while playing for United.
Ronaldo, Dennis Law, Bobby Charlton.
Good. Who did Sir Alex Ferguson want to be the United number 7 before David Beckham took it?
Ronaldinho.
Roy Keane. Who is considered the babyface assassin at United?
Solskjaer.
Who is Wazza?
Ronaldo.
No,
Rooney.
Wayne Rooney.
Oh my days. Oh my. The timer. Was that it? Was that time?
Yeah.
How many was that?
Right, and you got 9. Didn't quite beat Flex. Flex
Ronaldo.
for the next week stays as the top devil with 10. Right, we're going to talk about this week's big topic, big controversy on Twitter. Is Diogo Dalot underrated? Because Kane, who was on the show last week, for those of you who watched last week, tweeted this out a few days ago. And honestly, I thought, decent tweet. And the replies and quotes that this got were either correct or absolutely nothing. And there was nothing in between. The guy got cooked. So this week's hot take. Do you think Diogo Dalot might be the most underrated player at United?
I think because we've been awful this season, I think him personally, about how he's been in recent months, is underrated. Because I actually think the last few months for him have been really strong. I think he's been a goal threat. He's scored some goals. He's good on the ball. And I've actually noticed a really big improvement in his defending, like his duels. Like the easy statement we used to make was, Wan-Bissaka, no one ain't getting past, and Dalot's a bit suspect, and sometimes this and sometimes that. And don't get me wrong, it was only this season where, look at Wilfried Zaha at Old Trafford when Dalot was 1-1-1 with him, got weights out the way, then he scored. So it hasn't been all perfect, but in recent months, Dalot has showed me that he's in good physical condition, he's strong in the duels, he's getting forward, he's linking up, and he's chipping in with goals, and a lot of our forwards aren't. So I'm starting to see the Dalot that I've always wanted to see, but it hasn't been long enough yet for me to be like, he's criminally underrated, people don't appreciate how good he is.
Yeah.
He's a really good character as well. I've spent a lot of time around Dalot, always got time for the fans.
Seems like a really good person to have in the dressing room.
Proper blessed guy. But is he our most underrated player? It's hard to pick an underrated player this season because we've been shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's not that mad a take. But, people go in for like Bruno and say he's terrible and this, that and the other. Obviously, Rashford's had a lot of criticism this year. But there hasn't been much to shout about who's underrated. So I don't think it's that mad of a shout.
It's like you say, it's a hard time to be like, who is the most underrated? Because I don't know what Man United performance we're going to get from game to game.
Who are you rating?
I don't.
Exactly.
I have no clue. Like, even individual players, I don't know which Rashford I'm going to get from game to game or which ex-player I'm going to get from game to game. So it's hard to say who is the most underrated. But I do think, in general, he is underrated. And even when I've spoken to fans, not Man United fans, they don't rate him in terms of on the ball. Like, I've said how he can help progress the ball forward. I've said how he can be a threat in and around the box, sort of getting crosses in. And we've seen with the goals that he's chipped in with this season. I do think his technical ability is better than what is being made out. His defensive work has got better, like you say, but it's still not perfect. But then again, you look at a lot of fullbacks nowadays, they're not really good defenders. They're not excellent
Everyone's saying
defenders.
Pedro Porro's been like the best right back in the league this year. Did you see him at some points defensively against, like he got his feet in the muddle where Rashford even scored. But don't get me wrong, every corner he took, every time he went forward, he was dangerous.
Like, tell you what, Pedro Porro's been getting me a lot of FPL points.
Yeah, he's
had him in since day one.
He's good. He's good. You know what I mean?
He's good right now because Tottenham are kicking on.
They're
go. Scoring goals and he's contributing to that. And also the style of play where they attack, the fullbacks are very attacking.
Yeah.
But like, we haven't got that right now.
No.
He's Dalot probably should have a few more assists than he's got this season. But he's not getting
Here's
it.
my thing with Dalot though. This is actually a wider conversation though. I still feel like we can have better. And that's where I think with the Dalot situation, I know when he came in under Jose tipped him to be, one of the best fullbacks in Europe. And you forget, he went on loan to AC Milan. I just forget that blank spot. Like, I just forget he went there and come back.
Did he not play against us once?
Yeah, he did. Europa League, yeah. And we beat him. But in COVID, But when he speaks about that time at AC Milan, he said how that, it hardened him. It made him understand what it is to be a pro, and it kicked him on. But what I do like about him is he is a player who absolutely, he gets what it is to play for Man United, like in the passion he shows. But in terms of the quality, if I'm honest, like if I look at both our right backs, and I'm a big fan of Wan-Bissaka, but like he has a unique skill set, and I was always in the mindset of actually, I'd rather keep Wan-Bissaka as the guy who can come in when we need a specific job done and sell Dalot. But actually, when I look at what Dalot's been showing me in the last few months, he is better than Wan-Bissaka. And actually, I think we can still go a level up, and maybe Dalot can be the one who can fill in at left back, no problem, can play right back, probably play centre back if you asked him to. He's clever enough to, if there was a crisis. But yeah, I just think it's because, again, come with a lot of promise, and it always feels like we're waiting for him to deliver. Kind of like, and he had his problems with injuries as well, which has slowed down Touchwood. So yeah, I don't think Kane's that mad for saying that. I can see why he thinks that, but like Nick said, it's slim pickings because who are you really looking at this year of rating what they've done?
He's gonna. It's an important time for Dalot as well because it's very likely that Wan-Bissaka leaves in the summer.
Yes.
So then Man United needs to bring in a new right back. Do you bring in a second man for Dalot, or do you bring in someone to be the first starting right back and Dalot becomes the second one?
Yeah.
That's a huge decision that Man United and Ten Hag have to make.
And Dalot's, listen, he's got the security of, look, he got given a 5-year deal, you know, or with an extension of a further year. I think it was 6 in total, you know. And Wan-Bissaka was the guy who they let him run down, trigger an extension. We'll see. So the club have made a decision on who they want to be the long-term right back.
I think Ten Hag's been part of that decision as well.
Exactly. And actually, when this team plays, which we haven't seen it do, obviously, but in the vision that Erik Ten Hag probably has or had for this team, well, I'll say has, he's still here. Dalot is a big part of that as a modern-day fullback. He can give him the attributes that he's looking for overall. But because we've been so far off that, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it from Dalot. But yeah, it is a hot take, but I don't mind it.
You got to keep in mind as well, like during the first half of last season, when it was Lissandro, Varane, Dalot and Shaw.
Dalot was cold.
Bro, Dalot was cold and that 4 just worked. It worked. We kept so many clean sheets. David De Gea getting the most clean sheets last season was because he had them 4 in front of him and Casemiro ahead of them. So, again, it really depends. Let's see what happens. I do think when you look at the market as well, it's not like there is a huge amount of names that are screaming to you to go, we should bring this guy in.
Because we get linked to Dumfries all the time. Is Dumfries miles better than Dalot?
I wouldn't say so.
I don't know.
It's hard to gauge in another league as well. Syria, like it's very hard to gauge.
He's aggressive. He can get up and down. He gets past people. That's not much in it.
No.
I don't think that you lot might disagree. You might be sitting at home saying, "Nah, Dumfries is the best right back since sliced bread." But between them two, there's not much in it.
No, not.
I think Dalot's changed as a player a lot
since
we first signed him. I think he's improved tenfold defensively. Not necessarily become elite at any specific one thing defensively like Wan-Bissaka is, but I think his overall defensive game is a lot more sound than people give him credit for.
Agreed.
Because he's compared to Wan-Bissaka. But I think his attacking game actually, he was, if I remember correctly, when we first signed him, he had a quality final ball on him.
Yeah.
He was good at crossing.
He wanted him right wing at some points.
Yeah, he overhits so many of them. Like even Garnacho's goal, which is like potentially one of the greatest goals anyone's ever seen in their entire life. He overhit that cross horribly. The reason Garnacho's goal is so good is because he had to run back about 5 feet before flipping himself over to score.
Yeah.
I feel like his deliveries have kind of gone downhill a bit.
Yeah.
But in general, I think he's improved a lot in player and he's become more of a rounded player rather than more specific attribute. Wan-Bissaka's gone slightly the other way. Wan-Bissaka does have really good moments in build-up. I think that's something that's underrated quite a lot on Wan-Bissaka. He occasionally has these moments out the right wing where he's playing 1-2 football.
He's just so unpredictable.
Quite a lot with
Little
McTominay.
touches,
and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
You know what it is as well? Because Wan-Bissaka looks awkward doing it sometimes. But he gets it off. It works. Not all the time. But he does. I think it's because he looks awkward that we have in our mind the perception that he's not good on the ball, that he can't do it. But he can do it to a certain extent.
Yeah, Dalot's, in terms of technically, Dalot's head and shoulders above Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah,
I think.
As an overall player.
And I think actually, I love Aaron. I think he's wicked. And that's why I think as a unique skill set, I would like to selfishly have that at our disposal.
Oh, yeah.
At any time we need it. Because in world football, there's not many right backs you can go and put into any game, in any magnitude of game, against any star player.
Fine.
And say, go and do that job for me. And let's not get it twisted. When Dalot was supposed to be the man, Wan-Bissaka's been the guy who's come in and showed us that in the big games you need me playing.
Clamped it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen it against St. Maximum. We've seen it against Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? Like pocketing these guys. We've seen it against bloody if it's Luis Diaz or if it's Raheem Sterling. Oh my God, Raheem Sterling had nightmares against Wan-Bissaka.
Sterling still never scored against United.
Still never scored against United. Anytime he comes up against Wan-Bissaka, forget it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, like, you could say a lot of that. Mitoma clamped him.
Yeah.
Like, all the best wingers, Son can't get past him. Like, do you know what I mean? So he has a unique skill set, man.
What's funny about Wan-Bissaka as well, have you noticed, right? He'll make a crunching challenge, like last-hit challenge. He gets up, his face is
he's just chewing his gum, bro.
Monotone, bro. There's nothing there,
care.
no emotion. He's just...
And that's why I love him, because he doesn't play the game too crazy and doesn't play the game just nonchalant.
He does his job. I think at a one-off game, I'd rather watch Wan-Bissaka play. But in a team over a squad, I think I'd rather have Dalot.
Yeah.
But watching Wan-Bissaka is brilliant.
Entertaining.
I think that pretty much wraps up the second episode of What the Devil. Thank you very much, Flex, for coming onto your own channel.
Thanks for
Nick,
having me.
great to see you.
Thanks for allowing me to come on. I appreciate it.
Nick, thank you very much
Thanks
for coming on.
guys.
Right, if you got